Hello and welcome everybody back to either the Indigo Instinct Healing Matrix or my healing channel on YouTube, or maybe you're on Instagram. This is going to be a reading for the new moon in Taurus. If you are new, I do 4-card readings, so primary energy up top, energy of what is going on for this lunar cycle and the general energy of what may be going on in your situation. Shadow energy down below. Energy that we need to illuminate and we need to bring to light so that you can better serve yourself in this lunar cycle and better move through whatever it is you're going through. And then I do a pathway read, which is the energy on top, which is keeping you stuck and that is preventing you from really ushering in all of the bounty that this lunar cycle awaits for you. And then path underneath, which is the energy that we can call in or we can embody or we can embrace in order to really free ourselves in this lunar cycle. As always, I am Indigo Instinct Healing in the Matrix on Facebook, Indigo Instinct Healing Matrix, on YouTube and on Instagram. Please hit like or subscribe, or please leave a comment. I love to hear how these readings resonate and whether they are serving you or not, or what landed and what didn't. And we are going to move into our reading for the new moon in Taurus, which falls on the 11th of May in the Northern Hemisphere and the 12th in the Southern Hemisphere. Feels like there's a bit of confusion in the midst right now. Two very masculine cards. These are our two energies, primary energy and shadow energy down below. And for our primary energy here, it's interesting because it's Taurus, and, Taurus is the sign of the bull, and there's this stability and solidarity and commitment, but there's also this stubbornness that's coming through this month and through this lunar cycle, and there's this desire to be right above all. Be right in your opinion, be right about what you feel impassioned about, what you feel is justified, and just to have others adhere to the beliefs that you feel are just. And in this way, there's this sort of disconnect and sort of dissociation with what you feel is the truth and what you feel should be done and what, quote unquote, others are doing. And if you don't make peace with this, if there's not a point where you can begin to understand the common ground, where are you, if this is a situation with one other person, where are you two both similar? Or where do you meet on the same playing field? Or where can you bring in an understanding of perspective? Because if you continue to stay rooted in this, I'm right on the polarized side of me, then that harmony is never going to be struck, and it's going to be a very uncomfortable new moon, because there's going to be this desire to open and this desire to see people as all instead of me versus other. And if we hold fast to our opinions so tightly and so resolutely, the moon is going to want to clear that all away, and that cycle is going to want to clear that all away, and it's going to bring some discomfort. So are you ready? Not only are you ready to let go of whatever energy you're trying to shift, but are you ready to let go of your opinions? Because that's really what will bring you the greatest change in this cycle. Very masculine energies. And interesting, these feel very, very linked, this cycle. This is our shadow energy, and what's coming up is this tenderness and this softness and this mushy, bruised heart, and this part of you that has been hurt in the past, and you have just decided that in order to feel safe and in order to feel like you can be strong on the outside and like a guardian on the outside, that small bruised part of you just needs to go away, wherever away is, whether it's suppressed or forgotten about through addiction or projected onto others, but it is cast aside. And the Knight card is really asking you to do the difficult but noble thing for yourself. You know, be your own loyal soldier and be your own loyal accomplice in a sense. And can you take a look at that part of you that you have decided is inconvenient or is weak and have decided to put away? Where can you open the door to that version of yourself that has been put in a box, put in a shelf, put in a different room because it has felt weak and fragile? And by allowing yourself, you know, Taurus has this nurturing side to it, and by allowing yourself to look at this part of you for this moon cycle and in this fragility and this rawness of the new moon, there are some very deep insights that may be brought to light that will completely change the way that you move through the world and may in fact completely change the way in which you relate to others. So allow yourself to set aside some time, maybe set aside some space. Like, I don't know what everyone's situation is like in terms of COVID rules, but go for a drive. Put yourself in a position where you are alone and only and undistracted and really alone, and give yourself that opportunity to be alone and to allow those truths and those feelings to surface, because through this willingness to revisit that part of you that feels broken and fragile, you really are going to break some great ground. So that is our general read. And then for our block and our path here, more masculine vibes. So this is our block, and it's coming through. I mean, the Trader is all about equal exchange of energy and equal exchange of information and knowledge and communication with others, and this receptive give and take of knowing that whatever you give will be given back to you tenfold, and openly giving so that you really feel like you have a flowing channel. And all of this comes from the mindset of abundance. And we have two mindsets that we live in, the abundance mindset and the scarcity mindset. And most of the world, most of the time, lives in the scarcity mindset, where there's this feeling of, I have to hold on to whatever I have in order to stay alive. And if I let go, or if I give it up, or if I forgive, if I give forward and give before I know what I'm going to get in return, then I'm not going to make it, or I'm not going to be successful, or I'm not going to survive. And the block here is really asking you to come through with this alternative way of approaching things. Even by writing things down, can you write down some beliefs you have about money, or about time, or about your ability to succeed at things, and really bring to the forefront of what your beliefs are. And then, just as an experiment, write the complete opposite down and see how that feels. Maybe it feels foreign, but also maybe there's a part of you that feels like they would really desire that version of yourself. The part of you that instead says, I need to work really hard in order to get by, and maybe writing down that opposite of, I know that if I work in alignment of what feels good, or I work in a way that feels easy, abundance will come to me. Or I know I'm supported fully. Working with these mentalities and these things on the ground. We're in this phase of life right now where we really need to do a lot of this metaphysical work on the ground. And can we change our beliefs, and can we change the way we approach situations? Because right now we're in this, the more I hold on to what I have, or the more that I take, the safer I'm going to be. And that is frankly making us quite tired. And then our path, the way through. Interesting. So we got the summer card, but we got it in reverse. Also, excuse my dirty nails, I'm tree planting, so my hands are in the dirt all the time. But the way through, this is a bit more of an abstract path, and what's coming through with this card is that we often look at abundance in terms of physical reward. We plant a garden and we get a lot of fruit back or a lot of veggies back, and we see that as abundance. Or we work hard and we get a bigger paycheck and we see that as abundance. Or we are able to afford new clothing, a new car, anything that's material, and we see that as abundance. And what's coming through with this card as our path in reverse, the summer card in reverse, is that where can we see the things that we don't have to pay for as abundant? Do we have an abundance of love? Do we have an abundance of clean water? Do we have an abundance of time that might not feel comfortable for us, but allows us to do things that we would have never really realized we had interest in? Maybe somebody who's off work because of the COVID restrictions in your area, maybe they start coloring, which leads to them drawing, which leads to them developing a drawing practice, and they realize that art is a very integral part of their life. And if they didn't have an abundance of time due to the disruption in their regular routine, maybe they would have never realized that. So this lunar cycle, can you go out into your world, into nature, even into, a little bit of green space if you live in a city, and where can you observe an abundance that already exists? Maybe there's an abundance of flowers, or maybe there's an abundance of people, and that has power in and of itself. I mean, that's a lot of energy. But can we shift our mindset and our mentality of viewing abundance in a way that isn't just about how much can I earn, gain, or receive? So I hope that helped, and I hope you all have a beautiful new moon in Taurus. And if you would like to book a private reading with me or a healing session, my links are in my description box, or you can DM me or just reach out on any of these platforms because I will be available. And I hope you are all taking some time to be extra kind to yourself and extra curious this new moon. How willing can you be to discover that new version of yourself that may be within? Blessings.